Okay, back in the lab, day after day today is another arm day. So we're gonna get big biceps, bulbous triceps. And you know what? Last time when I did the planche, I quite liked that for mainly one reason, which is if I do legs, arms, legs, push, pull, I only have planche on the push day, right? So it's like once every 5 days, which is not that much. I quite like the planche. I like to do it often. So by introducing a bit of planche on the arm day, I think I'm heading a step in the right direction for myself. And of course today I'm gonna do the supinated floor planche. This will put heavy emphasis on my biceps more than my shoulders. So yes, my shoulders are involved as well because it's a planche, but more so also the arms, and we're gonna get a good arm pump. Now, what I want to mention here is that often beginners will ask, like, what's the perfect program for a beginner? And to me, the answer is really that there is no perfect program because it depends on your goals, on your life, like on where you are in your training journey. There is so many different factors. And if you just start analyzing, like, oh, what should I do before you even start? It's like paralysis by analysis. You won't get started because you're thinking too much. So in the beginning, especially if you're just starting out, everything you do is progress compared to when you were doing nothing. So make use of the fact and just try stuff out. Start maybe with the basic push-pull legs, and just force yourself, like focus only on continuing your training. Like if you want to train 3 times a week, like that should be your only goal in the beginning, just making sure that you can go 3 times a week. So if you're like on one day, like, okay, I really don't want to go, like I'm sore and I'm tired, and you're thinking about quitting, at that point, like make an adjustment in your head. Okay, I'm tired, but if I do maybe push-ups instead of dips, or I do a bit lower intensity than I normally do, I can go. And by making those little adjustments, experimenting with stuff, you will get to know your body and you will see how you can continue. And continuation, consistency, that's the most important part. That's like the most perfect program that you can have is the one that you can consistently do and like have a fire in your heart, the burning heart from the Rocky teams. But like if you're passionate about your training and you can continue doing it, you're gonna make progress because you're gonna want to progress in your training. You care about, oh, I want to do more push-ups, I want to do more squats. So you're gonna find ways on how to do that. And along the way, your goals will change, your situation will change, obviously your body will change, and with like you're gonna adjust your program along the way. That's basically it. So anyway, today arm day, I'm gonna start with some planche. Okay, so first a couple of light sits like these. This gets me warmed up even more. I did general warm up, but these are like, sits to get my planche nervous system going. And also, by doing light sits, I'm able to get more volume, get a bigger biceps pump. I'm feeling it already. So I'll do a couple of more sits, maybe actually one more set of like just yellow band planche. Then maybe I'll move to Maltese. Maybe I'll, remove some assistance. Basically, do a couple of sets until I feel that the planche is getting difficult to do. Alright, so when it comes to rep ranges, I'm a fan of just doing a bit of everything. Like for example, the first 2 sets I did with the yellow bands were quite long, and then now I'm doing straddle planche without any help. These sets are quite short because for me the supinated planche is difficult. Just doing a little bit of everything. For me, I find that it works to just get, results in all areas. I get some muscle hypertrophy, I get some endurance, I get some strength, and in the end, happy, happy days. So for planche, it's basically the same. I'm not doing any reps or not much, but in planche, rather than counting the reps, you can count the length of your sets in seconds, and that's the same result. All right, so last set of planche without any help, and then I'll do some Maltese holds with help, of course. Okay, as the last part of compounds for biceps, I'm gonna do a light set of Hephisto, probably just one, just to get some reps in. The planche is like static the entire time, or you do a press, but your arm is straight the entire time, so your biceps isn't actually moving. So what I'm doing now is do some Hephisto light, because I had my shoulder issue like a few days ago still. So not hard, but just to get some blood flowing, just to get the biceps moving already, I'm gonna do one set. All right. Okay, so I just did one set of Hephisto, then I did a warm-up set for impossible dips. And basically, like, I did a general warm-up, right? So you might think, like, why did you warm up again? And that's because, well, each movement is different, of course. I'll put you here. Each movement is different, so, for each movement, you have different muscles involved. So I don't think it's a good idea to jump in immediately, because then you risk hurting yourself. Instead, just do a couple of feeler sets, for each exercise you do to determine how you're feeling for the day. And by doing so, you not only get some volume in, to learn the movement patterns, but you also you can do safe training. So what I'm doing right now, I guess I'll take the backpack. I'm gonna do one max out set for impossible dips, and then I'm gonna do some other volume sets with assistance, and those will be a bit longer and also not to the max, I believe. All right, let's see how many we can get. I'm gonna aim for 5. 5 reps. All right. I thought I had 6 for a moment, but that was not happening today. A bit of momentum. Oh, hello, stars. I'm seeing a bit of stars, even though it's midday. Yeah, I did use a bit of momentum. The form is not perfect, but for these, it's just all about hoisting, heaving, and hefting, getting my body back up, putting high pressure on my triceps and the rest of my body to get some compound gains in my triceps. So now I'll use band assistance, aim for a couple of sets of maybe 10 or something, I don't know, just to get a bit more volume in, because for these impossible dips, it's a difficult exercise, right? So naturally the sets become shorter, and I wanna try and go a bit against that. Okay, those reps may not have looked that pretty, but I haven't gotten a triceps pump just from impossible dips like this before, so I would call that a good success. Like, holy fucking shit, I can feel it, and I'm gonna feel this tomorrow as well. Also, what I did not explain or I forgot to mention before was that I was gonna superset this with a tiny bit of front lever. I mean, now that you've seen it in video, a picture is 1,000 words, right? So multiply that by the FPS and the amount of seconds that I showed you the front lever just now, and you know how many words I used to explain it. But I'll also take up the reason why I did that. It's basically the same as the planche. I mentioned in the beginning of the workout that I have my system, legs, arms, legs, push, pull, and I have only one planche day every 5 days, and it's not that much. The same applies for pull, I do front lever on my pull day, I do loads of it, and that's fine, but then afterwards I have like 5 days I don't do anything at all. And it's good for muscle building, I believe. You get a lot of rest, but at the same time, I believe the stronger you get at the movement, the more power you'll put out, the more you can basically insult and beat down your muscles now, right? And get more hypertrophy. So what I also think is important is to get stronger at the movement, and to get stronger, I want a bit more frequency. So what I did today, like the supinated planche, tiny bit of front lever. This is like kind of the appetizer, for the push day, the push and pull day that's to come. So these are going to get me a bit primed, make sure that I don't lose sight of what a front lever is, that I don't forget how to do it. And it will be just easier, I believe, to get into the into the planche and the front lever on the push and pull days. So that's why I did that. Anyway, now like the hypertrophy or the compound part of the workout has been done, I'm just gonna do some circuit style bicep and tricep pumping, and then we're finished for today. All right, superset. I'll make sure you're able to see. There we go. Some tricep extensions. All right, couple more sets. Holy fucking shit. It's working. Alright, I did 3 of those sets of Hephaestus curls and tricep extensions, and I'm pumped to shit already. But just, finishing touch, the berry on the cake, or what do they say, the decorating on the cake, whatever. We got some bicep curls and some more tricep extensions. Alright, arm day completed. Today was a good success, I figured out a lot of stuff. The Hephaestus is maybe a bit too difficult, especially after Maltese, but those like feet assisted, like pseudo Hephaestus curls, I can do 20 reps of those quite comfortably and then just burn out and get an insane pump. And that's what I've been longing for with these arm days, I don't know, it's my 3rd or my 4th arm day that I'm doing on this bulk, but like the first 2-3 times I was like, no, my triceps is good, but my biceps, it's tired, but it's not sore, Well, today, like with the Hephaestus curl, I really find out how I can get my biceps tired without using the dumbbells, and then afterwards I can finish it off with the dumbbells. So very happy about that. And what I want to just mention is 90% of this workout is not about, which exercises I used, how many sets I did, how many reps I did. 90% of the gains that I'm making today is just I enjoy what I'm doing and I go hard, because I enjoy it, I want to go hard. That's 90% of the gains you're going to make. I get it. You want to start training and you want to find the most efficient way to progress, and you want to investigate. That's a good thing, completely. But that's like the remaining 10%, So it's good that you focus on those gains as well, because, the more gains, the better. But in searching for the most efficient way to progress, don't lose sight of what is fun to you, because having a long eccentric 3 seconds and then curling it up explosively with the bicep curls might be more efficient, but it's boring to me. I don't put as much effort into doing 3 seconds negatives as I will into just getting the dumbbell up as many times as I can. That's also important, because if I'm not passionate about my 3 second negative, then those extra 10% of gains don't matter, because I'm not getting the other 90% of the gains. If you're really into getting a burn, and that's your thing, and you like doing the 3 second negative and getting the perfect stimulus in your muscle, great. You can make use of the most efficient way to build muscle and enjoy it. You're making 100% of the gains. But if that's not your thing, for example, for me, I don't really care. I mean, I want to build muscle, but I also care a lot more about building strength. So for me, doing this all the time with light weights, it's not fun. So for me, I rather search for strength and do different things beneficial for that. Horsing this stuff and using a bit of momentum. That's the style I like. And even though it may be only 80% effective, I put my everything into it. So in the end, I'm making the most gains possible for me on a continuous basis, on a consistent basis. And that's what what's very important. So that's it for my ranting today. Tomorrow is gonna be hamstrings, and again, I'm gonna do a bit of forearms as well. So last time, my tendon was feeling a bit bad. I still feel it every now and then, when I come back from running. But I'm just gonna see what's possible tomorrow because I was actually, like, in hindsight, very happy about that training as well because it was going bad and I was doing Nordics without any assistance. Like that's that's like a huge landmark for me. So that's gonna be very fun tomorrow, like injury or not. I'm looking forward to it. So I'll see you tomorrow.